I'll call this Bang Bang.
Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Pull up.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Pull up.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Pull up.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Mr. Lally, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth call Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. Please state your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗺𝗏𝗺.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Wichita, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stamps, leave your clothes, buddy, and date them with
You a funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. He's not a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody.
I'm not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
All right, we're here. Sorry about the delay. What's up, people? How's everyone out there doing tonight? Good? Good. Excellent. Welcome to the Saturday night show, the Morrissey T show. I am your fearless host. They call me a variety of nicknames. My name's Aidan Kearney. You can call me Turtleboy. Oh, for fuck's sake. This should start with me already. You got to be shitting me. You got to be shitting me. I can't even deal with this. I'm not even going to focus. I'm not even going to look. But anyway, you can call me a variety of names. My real name's Aidan Kearney. but you can call me Turtleboy, Uncle Turtleboy. I prefer Dr. Turtleboy. It's my preferred pronoun of choice. Or you can call me Journalism Jesus, Timothy Kearney. That's my true crime name. Also acceptable is Daddy. I will allow that. It can be weird for some people, but also playful for others and fun. Crowd Daddy, also acceptable. You know what I mean? There we go. Crowd Daddy. That's Alan Jackson calls me. So yeah, I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night, normally at 9 p.m. Just extended it tonight. It's summer vacation. They stay up a little later. Yeah, we were watching The Little Giants. You guys remember that movie with Rick Moranis? We watched all the good kids movies from the 90s. There's no good kids movies these days. So you got to watch all the 90s movies. But anyway, but we're ready to go. And honestly, I've been going through the Morrissey emails like all day. So we got a lot to go through. So, all right, guys. So what else is I going to say? Oh yeah. If you want your posts or messages read out loud to the class tonight, we don't have super chats here. We have something better than that. It's called Turtle Chats. Click at the link at the top. All right. You can pay whatever amount of money you want. I will read your message out loud to the class, and we can do it that way. But a couple of rules: no centigraphs. Keep it brief, please, if you may. No advertisements like your landscaping company or whatever. Like, can't do that. At least not for $25. It's going to cost you. So you can do whatever you want, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. All right. So couple more announcements I want to make here. So on Tuesday or Monday, we're going to announce the Ratchet Madness brackets. For those of you unfamiliar, we do Ratchet Madness once a year. Usually we do it in April, but I just got delayed this year. I'm late with everything. And we're doing it in August this year. So how it works is I have picked the 64 biggest ratchets from the last year. And I have I've broken them up into 4 regions. What did we say the names of the regions were? I forgot the names of the regions. They're good. They're good names. But there are like the most ratchet from each region is a 1 seed. And then a 2 seed is second most, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 16. So there's 4 regions, 1 through 16 seeds. Okay. The 1 goes against the 16. And the winner advances. How do they advance? Well, we have a vote. You guys all get to vote. All right. And so we will be announcing the brackets and who has made the Ratchet Madness tournament this year on Monday. We got a video coming out Monday. The voting begins in the first region on, I think it's the normal moms region on Tuesday. And then we got another one Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And whoever advances, if you lose, you're out. Right? We do that until we have a winner. They advance and they go on. They play the next person in the bracket. So last year, I think this is our 9th consecutive Ratchet Madness year. We've had a lot of champions. There's been some good ones. No one's ever won it twice. Last year's champion was Jennifer McCabe. She defeated Michael Proctor in the finals. The other 2 finalists, I think Mike Morrissey was one of them. Don't hold me to that, but I forget who. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough pickings this year. Let me tell you, there's some new faces. There was no Kelly Deaver last year. There was no 𝗀𝗏𝗺𝗀𝗆 last year. There was no Shannon Burgess last year. So it's going to be tougher this year. I really think it's going to be tougher. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Anyway, what else is I going to say? All right, cool. So let me just start off by, a couple other announcements I'm supposed to make here before I forget. All right. She said, okay. So to be ready. So Ratchet Madness is my first one. Don't play Tick Tick Boom or the Higgy song to stay monetized. Check. Done. Okay. I don't think the Bang Bang song is I think that's not copyrights. I think we got that one. New show intro coming for the next Tuesday show, because that one's a little out of date. And then also a special thank you to Mazza Media and Auntie Deb, who did fundraisers for me this week. I think Mazza Media went today, so I really appreciate that. And you know, every little bit helps, man, because we got a long way to go with my legal journey. And you saw what we're up against today. You know, you saw these emails, man. It's like, dude, it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. Yeah, the CrimeCon thing. So I discussed it on Sex Cult on Thursday night. I will maybe come back to that a little bit more on later on in the program. But, you know, I think we kind of get the point with that. It's like, oh, thank you, Mazza. I appreciate that. I think we kind of get the point with that, but you know, I mean, it's just real disappointing. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that, like, oh yeah, they told Susan Hendricks, who I think was kind of like a useful idiot and all this, who still should talk to me, but I think that they were like, she clearly believes in Karen Reed's innocence and was like all in on that. There's no doubt about that. She wasn't faking that. And you know, I think she liked Turtleboy, you know, but I think they just used her and they told her, like, get Karen Reed, use him to get Karen Reed. And when she couldn't do that, they were like, you know what? We're going to make this CrimeCon thing all about Delphi. And not only just Delphi, but Delphi being a good thing, like that this was a good ending. Like, how tone deaf do you have to be to make, you're running a true crime convention, and what's the biggest true crime story in the world by far, right? Karen Reed. Nothing compares. Nothing compares. Don't tell me Delphi. Okay. A lot of people are into Delphi, right? But everyone's into Karen Reed. And not that you shouldn't be into Delphi. She is wrong about Delphi. That is the consensus I've seen. Everybody I respect says Richard Allen's innocent. So I'm going with Richard Allen's innocent because everybody I respect in the true crime community says that. Oh, and then the Idaho 4, but you can't tell me the Idaho 4 is as big as Karen Reed. It's just not. He pled guilty. Like, so it's just anticlimactic. So no, I mean, Richard Allen and Brian Kohlberger do not compare to Karen Reed, right? First of all, there was no cameras in the Delphi courtroom, and there was no, I mean, I've done some brief reading up on Delphi. Okay. It's my understanding that these two girls were killed in 2017 in February when they went on a walk in the woods. All right. And it was kind of a cold case. And Richard Allen at the time, who was like a local CVS worker who goes for walks in those woods, went to the police and was like, yeah, I was in the woods that day. I think he was like offering to help or be a witness or something. And they were like, cool. And they took his information down. And then that was that. But then 5 years later, I think they found his name. They like looked into it or something. They put him down as the wrong name. That's my understanding of it. And then they looked him up and they're like, oh shit, we should give this guy a harder look. Right. Everybody keeps saying Richard Allen is bridge guy. Okay. Again, I don't know. It's not as open and shut as Karen Reed. That's the thing. But there's seriously a lack of evidence against him. I mean, it seems like, so basically they raided his house one day out of nowhere. And my understanding is they really didn't have, I think they had one shell casing that was found at the scene, but that like they weren't shot. So I don't even think that I'm going to do a poll right now with Turtle Riders. I want to see what my audience thinks. Okay. 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 So I just put the poll up. Is Richard Allen innocent or guilty? And you can vote no clue if you don't know. If you have no idea, you haven't been following it. So 10%, 11% are saying guilty. Right now, that's it. 58% are saying, 56% are innocent, 35% no clue. And honestly, I think the most telling, the bigger point I'm making there is the 37% who are saying no clue, right? Because 100% of you watching right now know all about the Karen Read case. But there's a good chunk of you who don't know about Delphi, because Karen Read is a bigger story than Delphi. That's my point here. Nothing against the Delphi story or the people that cover it. It's a very important story. I get it. They put him in solitary confinement. They tortured him. He confessed, but people do false confessions all the time. Whatever. My point here is that you cannot compare. I mean, how tone deaf are you if you're running a goddamn true crime convention and your main story isn't Karen Read? You're just not going to talk about Karen Read. Like, are you kidding me? You're not going to talk about Karen Read. Are you fucking kidding me? Right? I mean, it's insane. Okay, so the audacity of these people to think that Karen Read herself would come to their event when she hasn't done any public appearances, that she's going to go for free. Are you kidding me? For free? Like she just didn't spend the last 2 years of her life like accumulating massive amounts of debt and whatnot, right? It's just insane. It's just insane that they thought that they could actually get her. And honestly, they don't need her. They got me. They got Crowd Daddy. Like I'm Karen Read doesn't bring the crowds. I do. And that's nothing against Karen Read, but Karen Read is the victim in this. She is the main character, if you will, right? But she's not the reason for the crowds outside, because Karen Read was charged with a crime falsely, right? Brought to court for over a year. No one was showing up. Just her and her family. That's it. That's it. So that's why it's like, I guess they don't like making money, because I can make them a shitload of money, but hey, whatever. So like the trolls obviously are like loving this, because like, oh yeah, they canceled on him. It's like, because they realized he's got witness intimidation. Now they knew the whole time. They didn't care. They don't care about that. They just wanted Karen Read. That's it. They were using me to get to Karen Read. And that should also tell them something, that like they wanted Karen Read. Okay. The trolls also hate her, and they wanted her. They're bad. They begged for Karen Read and they couldn't get her. So there you go. That's what these people do. Plus, I'm like, bro, they weren't going to pay me anyway. I just wanted to see Denver. I wanted to see Coors Field, right? Wanted to get the vibe of Denver. I heard it's a lovely city. Never been to Colorado. I wanted to like drink Coors Light straight out of the faucet. I assume it just comes in every kitchen sink in Denver. And, that's why I wanted to go there. But, they weren't going to pay me, so I don't really care. Like, and then we have the Wilbur show coming up, and tickets are going for sale on that this week. And that's going to sell out, and that's going to be dope. And fuck true crime. Fuck crime con, whatever it is. All right, cool. All right. Anyway, back to this. Let's read some turtle chat, shall we? I think that's it. I think that's all I'm supposed to read. Yes. Okay. So thank you all for that. All right, cool. Where'd it go? Where'd my thing go? All right. All right. Jen C sends $10, goes, hey, Daddy, have you looked into the JP Miller case? Justice for Micah. Do you think they get Wendy? Donna is a fucking riot. I can't wait to see her on the stand. Did the initial really feel like Charlie was the one to put in charge? What a fucking moron. The 𝗪𝗏 case is good too. Just saying kisses. Yeah. So I know Auntie Deb's been doing a lot of Donna Adelson shit, and I need to do it because that trial's coming up in like what, 2 weeks? So we're gonna go full Adelson soon, right? And if I know not all of my viewers are familiar with the Adelsons, I'm sure a lot of you are because you're true crime people, but a lot of people also aren't, and that's a crazy story, man. The Adelson story is just crazy, and this could be the last chapter of it. Depends if Wendy ever gets arrested, or charged, then it would really be the last chapter. But they've had so many trials. They've had the two people who actually killed him. They were tried in, I think, 2016, I want to say, the hitmen. And then they had Catherine Magbanua, who was tried, and then there was a mistrial, and they offered her immunity if she turned on her boyfriend, the hitman, or her baby daddy, the hitman, and she turned it down. She could have just gotten out of jail free. And they have a kid together. And the hitman was like, take the deal. I guess he was saying, take the deal so you can take care of the kids. And she didn't. She was a down ass hoe, and she didn't rat on him. And now she's in jail for the rest of her life. So there's that. So that was dumb. And then, but ultimately the people who orchestrated this whole thing were the 𝗍𝗿𝗄𝗯, and that would be Charlie, dumbass, and who was just the biggest douche, and his insane mother, Donna, and perhaps Wendy. She benefited the most from this, but we'll see. But yeah, so we'll be going all over the 𝗍𝗿𝗄𝗯 stuff when that happens. And there's that. Next up, Dwight sends $5, goes, skip the Susan Hendricks stuff. It's all been explained in your article. Stick to Morrissey's emails. Well, I appreciate that, Dwight, but I'll conduct my show as I see fit. We're going to get to all the Morrissey emails. Don't you worry. Next up, Laura sends $8 and goes, independent journalist, activist, blogger, vlogger, content creator, shit stirrer extraordinaire. They're all just titles we make up throughout time and history. You are best at all of these. Regardless the title, be proud every day. You should start a company, and only journalists who pass your standards need apply. The whole country needs Turtleboy and Microdots rules. Well, thank you, Laura, for the kind words. Emily sends $5 and goes, breaking. In the 4,000 plus released emails, evidence shows that Morrissey is in fact John Barron. Unconfirmed. And dude, they're still going at it with that shit. You guys got to stop, man. It's just insane. My guy, Ernie, aka 𝗃𝗄𝗏, had just the best roast of these people that I retweeted that you guys need to read. It was so good. I retweeted it. Check it out. It just says it all. People just need to stop. It's fucking insane how much time you guys spend on this shit about like screenshots of this person. Dude, you guys got to stop, man. Fucking unhealthy, bro. Unhealthy. No way to live. So thank you for that. All right. Farrah sends $10 and goes, support from Kansas City, Missouri. Can I get you to say go Chiefs? Absolutely not. LOL, Karen Reed, and your cases have really made me dive deep into looking into trials and really questioning those in power. I love that you are exposing them. Well, thank you. And if you guys could keep me updated about the Red Sox, okay, that would be great, because big into the Red Sox right now. They're on fire, right? And what are we at? 3-2 playing San Diego. And also, did you guys see that Little League game the other night? Massachusetts. So the Braintree kids made the Little League World Series. Good for them. I did not know that Rhode Island and Connecticut have left New England. They're no longer part of New England, apparently. So you don't have to play them. So that gets a little easier when you don't have to do that. But they played New Hampshire, and boy, did New Hampshire blow that game. Holy shit. Oh my God. I've never seen a team choke that badly. I've never seen a coach fuck up as badly as the coach from Bedford, New Hampshire did. Dude, you got to see this game. This kid so Braintree scored their second run, and they were up 2-0 on their second run. The kid was clearly out at the plate, and they didn't challenge it. You can challenge in Little League now, and they didn't challenge it. So the run was allowed to be scored. And then later on, the coach's son from New Hampshire slid into home. He was clearly out. He was called out, and the coach challenged it because the son wanted him to challenge it, and it was not overturned. Right. And then later on a passed ball, they won on a freaking passed ball. And because the pitcher, the shortstop, and the third baseman all ran home, and they didn't know who was supposed to cover the plate. So the catcher threw it, and no one was at the goddamn plate. It was insane. So that's a Braintree. Yeah. So congratulations to the Womps. They are in the Little League World Series. Good for them. The little pitcher there is like 4'11", 95 pounds, Frankie Fasoli. And but he throws heat. He's fun to watch. Love the Little League World Series. So thanks for that. All right, next up. Meredith's abs sends $5 and says, pull up, bitch. Okay. All right. Thank you. Lisa sends $25 and goes, I just want you to be free. I'm looking forward to Ratchet Madness, something normal. Well, thank you, Lisa. You're such a good person. And, you know, I want to be free too. I just want to be done with this. You know, I'm looking forward to no longer having to like deal at all with any sort of bail. I just hate being on a bail, and I just can't wait to get rid of these charges. And, you know, we're going to get rid of it, man. We're going to get rid of it. So, all right, we're going to win. We're going to win. I promise. I have court this week too. So don't forget about your boy, 2:00 on Wednesday, 2:00 Wednesday. And in light of these Morrissey emails, nothing should be impounded anymore. Now that we've gotten all these emails, first of all, it's so unfair because I've had a lot of these emails for a long time. Like the one to Ron Mariano asking for $1 million. I had that. I've been sitting on that. It's like gold. And I haven't been able to talk about it because of the stupid impoundment order. Like, why is any of this stuff impounded? It doesn't make any sense. So, you know, it's going to be good on Wednesday. Hope to see a lot of you guys there for my hearing. We'll see what happens. All right, next up, Asser and Fish sends $10, goes, listen, Turtle, Mr. Media Man, with your glasses and your communications school degree. Is your court hearing still on for this week? I was wondering if you had a time for it. Also, go Red Sox. Yes. Yes. So as I just said, I think I answered that question, Mr. Asser and Fish. So I hope I satisfied you. Thank you, sir. Jen sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle, please give a shout out to Victoria and her family, sending love and support their way. Hoping everything goes well this coming week. We are thinking of you. Well, thank you very much, Jen and Victoria. Okay. Jordan sends $10, goes, thanks for everything you do. I wish I could give you more, but you know, we all support you. Strength in numbers. You're too kind, Jordan. Every bit helps. I appreciate that. Don Adelson's complaint department sends $25, goes, it might be a good thing that Crime Con didn't work out this year. Apparently they are awarding Lieutenant Jerry Holman of the Indiana State Police with Crime Fighter of the Year, even though this fucking retard got the wrong guy and Richard Allen is innocent. This piece of shit is the Michael Proctor of the Delphi case, and he's being celebrated by them. I think you dodged a bullet. Well, that's the thing. It's like that they're choosing to put the Delphi people, and that kind of says a lot about like what I guess CrimeCon's owned by Fox News, and we saw the position that like that retard fucking I hate that bitch. Judge Janine, just fucking I want to smack her every time I see her. And I always wanted to smack that woman. She's just such a fucking fake cunt. I always fucking hated her, and I'm conservative and I like Donald Trump, and I just always wanted to smack her. These all the people on Fox News are just like made up, caked up fucking losers. I fucking hate them. But yeah, she sucks. And so the Fox News owns them. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're taking this like back the blue position. And like, of course they're treating Delphi as like the best case of the year because they only like guilty convictions. They don't like acquittals. They don't like acquittals, especially when a cop is the victim in it. So there's that. Anyway, I mean, that's their loss. So M. Rennie sends $5, goes, firstborn children are naturally superior to everyone else. I said what I said. I agree with that. As the oldest of 7, I agree with that, M. Rennie. Thank you. Next up, Angie sends $10, goes, listen, Turtle, I can't wait for you to go over the Morrissey emails tonight because from what I already heard, they are crazy. Forgot to mention that I only live in Idaho. I am originally from Hawaii. So what kind of turtle rider would that make me? Whatever you want, I guess. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you, Angie. Carla from Arkansas sends $25, goes, Plevin is the worst. That is all. Free Turtleboy. Whatever happened to Plevin? Is he still around? Is Plevin still even a thing? Did he just give up after he took that L? Thank you. Sarah sends $5, goes, this is a little inappropriate, but it's a little sexual, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. She goes, I'd give more if I could. Something about bodies, and it must be a beautiful sight. So I'm just going to leave that. This is a family show, Sarah. I appreciate that. I can't read that whole thing out loud, but thank you very much. Next up, Paul sends $5 and goes, everybody needs to shut the fuck up about sock accounts. Make the twit twat funny again. Free Turtleboy. I'm with you there, Paul. I'm with you, pal. I appreciate that. Next up. I think I got a couple cash apps here as well. Let's see. All right. I'll see if I do. I don't even know. I didn't even check. I don't know if I do. Yes, I got one from Rachel. Sends $10 and says, eat shit Morrissey. Okay. Take that, Morrissey. All right, cool. All right. If anyone else wants their messages read, please click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $Uncle_Turtleboy. No, it's not really a family show. I'll explain later. It's it's something. All right. Oh, you said, oh, so there is someone who thinks Richard Allen's guilty. Okay. Interesting. All right. One person. Actually, no, the chat says 48% innocent, 10% guilty, 42% no clue. My point is made for me. All right, cool. Let's just jump right into the Morrissey emails, guys. We got a lot to get through here. So strap up, man. Strap up. Let's go. So first of all, we requested these a long time ago, these goddamn emails, and we were given some, and there was like 5 emails, and they were all about COVID, and we just weren't given anything good. And as it turns out, I don't even know who put this record. I know somebody that did a records request, but I guess NBC did too. But I would like to point out that this is happening because of me, not me, us, my legal defense team. This is happening because of the Michelle Littlefield story and the Betterow letters, right? We are the ones that found out that Michael Morrissey had a burner account, had a burner email account that he used to conduct government business. How do we find that out? Well, he used that account to contact Judge 𝗪cie Fortes and tell her that she needed to fire an employee at Stoughton District Court named Michelle Littlefield because he suspected, without any evidence, that she had messaged me and told me that Chris Albert had tried and failed to get a restraining order on me in open court, which she'd be perfectly allowed to do, right? So nothing illegal about that whatsoever. But because it embarrassed the McAlberts and they contacted Morrissey about it, he decided that something needed to be done. And he demanded that she be fired. And that's just not, how it works. So, all right. Anyway. So yeah. What was I going to say? I got a little brain fart there. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. I think the craziest thing so this is the search function on this doesn't even work either. Like if I search, there's a woman named Cotter. They kept emailing, like no search, like the search button doesn't work. So that's kind of useless, but I took some notes here about pages where I could find a lot of these. Let's go to page 1120. What do we have here? Is this 1120? Oh, this. I got to get to this, dude. You got to see this. This is a story I need to look into. So there was this dude. He's a referee in a hockey game. His name is Nicholas Gauvin. He's from Revere. If Nicholas Gauvin from Revere can get in contact with me, that would be cool. I want to talk to you, man. Because check this out. So he was a hockey ref. And I guess there's an ice skating rink in Foxborough, which is in Norfolk County. And this is what happened to him. Watch this.
With possession of the puck, number 19, Paul Halloran tries avoiding a check. Now, you'll see right here, Halloran, unfortunately, collides with the linesman, who it did appear was trying to get out of the way. If you notice, Halloran cross-checks the referee. Here's what happens next.
It's a waffle? Okay, sorry. Watch this.
After penalizing Halloran, here's his unwarranted response.
Oh, dude.
Okay, two things. First, what the?
So he was like banned for that. But as it turns out, so the ref is a 22-year-old named Nicholas Godwin. And that's assault. That's a crime what you just saw occur there. That's assault. And so this guy he wants him charged. He goes to the police with this. And the Norfolk DA's office gives him a victim witness advocate. They have a probable cause hearing. They find probable cause. He's charged. But as it turns out, that guy, Paul, what was his name? Paul Halloran, 20-year-old punk, right? Daddy is a state trooper or a former state trooper who is now an attorney. And the charges end up getting just dropped by Morrissey. He just drops the charges. And so this is like, I got a letter here from the referee to Michael Morrissey about how he was lied to, about how there were going to be charges, and they met with the DA, and then they just dropped the charges. Nothing. Okay. My parents and I are extremely troubled by the ADA's decision to classify this violent crime as assault and battery rather than as felony for A and B with a dangerous weapon, and for dismissing the case prior to the defendant being formally charged. He was never even formally charged. He was 20 years old. I was 22. And yet I had the maturity not to strike back. This was not a hockey fight between two consenting players. It was a vicious attack, plain and simple. It was our understanding that when an alleged crime involves a victim, the court must get their opinion on whether or not to pretrial diversion. We also read one cannot qualify for pretrial diversion. So like, I thought this was interesting because here I am charged with, like, you know, they're not dropping the charges against me. And what did I didn't punch anyone. I didn't hurt anyone. I didn't push anyone into ice, right? I didn't do anything like that. And yet they're going through with me. But like that guy whose daddy happens to be a state trooper. Are you kidding me? And Morrissey's office just drops the charges against them. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right. So that's one. What else we got here? I want to look at that in a future date, look more into that story. But I thought next page I have is 1171. What's on 1171? All right, this is an email. Oh, I didn't know why I thought this was funny. So check this out. Morrissey, he does this all the time. First of all, he sends Brian Tully is on every email, and so is Lynn Beeland. And by the way, not once did anyone ever tell Michael Morrissey this is inappropriate. This is inappropriate for you to be emailing me about government business using your government email account. And if you're wondering what Michael Morrissey does all day, I'll tell you one thing he does every single day when he goes in. He just reads the obituaries, because there are hundreds of emails in which he sends Lynn Beeland an obituary of someone and just writes the word card on it. Like, send this family a card, like also known as fundraising. Like, that's what that is. He's using his government email, or not his government, his burner email on work time to fundraise for his campaign. That's what that is. He's not just random. He doesn't go in the obituaries every day looking for random dead people for the fun of it. He's doing that because he wants to fundraise from them. That's all this is. I'm sure if I went through all of the people that he sent cards to, I bet you they all donated to his campaign somewhere along the lines. And like that, that's just wild. But I thought this one is funny because look what he sent in Lynn Beeland and Brian Tully a link to. Howie Carr, stupidity not in short supply in Bay State. I bet you that's about the Brian Walsh case because that's right around that time. And so it's just so funny because this dude reads Howie every day. Have you seen the Howie headlines about Meatball Morrissey? Have you seen those headlines? Oh my God. So that I thought that was funny that this dude reads Howie every day. What else do we got in these emails? Page 1304. Okay, let's go to that. Just a lot of stuff here about like domestic violence. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's see that. Let's see this one. Card and date, he sends. So this guy, who's this guy? Thomas Bowes. Bet you that guy gave money to Morrissey. Because he's like, just take care of his. Send him a card. Every one of these just says card. This person needs a card. Who is she? Alice Wolf. Send her a card. Okay? Needs a card. All right. So this is all. Karen Reed has been charged at this point. Another obituary. But she has not been. I have not come onto the case yet. So he's not getting a lot of contact. But again, it's so many obituaries, dude. Like the whole thing's just filled with obituaries. Like it's wild. Like this is what he does every day when he goes into work. Just go read the obituaries. Who we sending a card to today? All right, let me find the right page. 1304, I said. Look at all these pictures. Look at this goober. Look at this goober. Look at him. Oh my God. Jeez Louise. Look at his shoes, bro. What is he wearing for shoes? Look at those things. Those Keds? What are those? Why are they so dirty too? It's like a dirty, nasty white. He's been playing in soot. 101 Dalmatians or something. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that face. That's a drunk right there. I know a drunk when I see one. Look at that face. Anyway, like, look at this goober. How is this guy the DA? All right, let's find page 1304. Because I spent like 6 hours doing this today. It took so long, but it was worth it. It was so good. Check out my twat today. I was going nuts. I thought this was interesting. All right, so check this out. So this is from Morrissey to Karen O'Connell, who I think he's an ADA, and he kind of reams him out here. He says to him, and this is CC to Brian Tully, Jeff Kotkowski, and ADA Lisa Beatty. So he's kind of like embarrassing him in front of them. He goes, this is what happens when you didn't track the trooper down when you were asked. You then called the woman and made it sound like no one cares because you didn't know what you were talking about. All you had to do is find out which detective had the case. Okay. So he's like reaming out his ADA for not contacting and finding out. He must have talked to some victim. I bet you that victim's family. And he probably like didn't know the case at all. And she's like, you're in charge of this and you don't know the case, whatever. And so he's like reaming him out in front of Tully and stuff like that. But it's like, bro, have you seen did you just see that evidentiary here? What Lally asked Proctor for shit like 1 million times. Who was never given it. Like, I hope you reamed him out too. So at that, and so this is, so he sees a Facebook comment. This is what he's referring to. Can you tell us why the Norfolk DA's office, they read all their Facebook comments? Just know that. If you guys want to have it, now that you know that they read all their Facebook comments, just go on go on their Facebook page and just leave whatever comments you want because they read everything. Tell them what you really think of them. Can you tell us why the Norfolk DA's office does not assign a dedicated trooper to the mass unresolved unit? I apologize for using this forum to ask my question, but I did try to call you, Mr. Morrissey, and I got your assistant's voicemail. She in turn passed me on to another person in your office who did call me, but she'd never heard of the unresolved unit. My sister, 𝗺𝗫𝗄𝗃 𝗺𝗏 from Bellingham, was featured not only on the State Police Unresolved deck of cards, but also Sheriff McDermott's cards. Waiting 44 years for a Justice Day, It would be wonderful when a constituent has a valid question, Mr. Morrissey, if you would have the courtesy to answer. Yet he blames it on his ADA. It sounds like she's mad at you, Morrissey. Meatball. All right. What else we got here? Next page I had up. A lot of receipts. A lot of receipts for shit. Women's History Month. Another obituary. Yeah, okay. Boston Herald stories. Okay, let me find the right page. Give me one sec. The next one is page 1346. Okay. Let's pull that up. All right. Oh, the Birchmore investigation. All right. So this is Megan Monahan. He sends this email to her on March 1st, 2023. I think this is right around the time when the new autopsy was performed, and it turned out that Sandra Birchmore didn't commit suicide, as John Fanning insisted that she did. And he sends a petition to investigate Sandra Birchmore's death. And he's a link to that. And he's like, talk to me tomorrow about this if you're around. And it had 88 signatures at the time. And it started by a woman named Sarah Lee, who said he wanted the Birchmore thing. She wanted to be investigated. So Sarah Lee, congratulations. You got the attention of Meatball Morrissey. Your change.org petition got the attention of Meatball Morrissey. And he's like, let's look into it. Of course, he did nothing with that information. When he says, like, let's talk about this, it's like, let's double down on the lie. That's what he means by that. Let's double down on the lie. And then Monahan writes back, I should be available at 1 o'clock today. Who's Megan Monahan? I Googled her before. Megan Monahan. She is an attorney in Canton. I guess she's an ADA. Is that right? For the Norfolk DA's office? Okay. So whoever she is, I don't know if she was in charge of investigating that or what. But she didn't do shit. So there's that. Okay. So talk to me tomorrow if you're around. Okay. Yeah, we'll get right on that. More bills to pay. What's this Birchmore one? I spoke with David Traub, who left a note on my desk. I'm not sure if you wanted to discuss outside his questions. If so, I am available. Okay. And then he talks to Fanning. He sends Fanning an email about it. And Fanning doesn't respond. Oh, Fanning does respond. He just says, will do. Yeah, we'll look into that. We'll get right on that. Right. Sure. Sure you will. Okay. Next up. Is page 1511. Let's go to page 1511. And people asking who Brandon Hunt is. Brandon Hunt is the attorney at the Norfolk DA's office who is in charge of records requests. So he's a glorified secretary for the DA's office. And he doesn't do shit, just like the rest of them. A lot of receipts here. Look at this. Look at this motherfucker. He bought 10 cheese pizzas, 10 large cheese pizzas. And we paid for that. He's a hungry motherfucker. Okay. 1504, I said, right? Oh, here's an interesting one. How did I not see this? So now we're getting into the time when Karen Reed happens. Okay. All right, April 4th. What else do we have here? Let's see. April 4th, April 5th, April 6th, April 11th. So this is the day after Colin Albert and all them get grand jury summons. I'm surprised there's nothing in here about that. They don't contact Morrissey about this. April 10th is the day they all got their grand jury summons. Nothing in here for that. Interesting. I find that hard to believe. Did they leave that out? I don't know. Because I don't trust these guys to hand over all the, oh, here's another obituary. Get that obituary out. So April 12th. Yeah, this is like right around the time when, so on April 12th, 2023, that's the date when the How Long to Die in Cold comes out. April 12th, 2023, in Emotion, filed by Alan Jackson. And he doesn't mention it here. He does not mention it at all. He's writing to people about the budget amendments. Okay, budget amendments. All right. Nothing. More budget amendments. April 14th, we're up to here. What else we got around? Here it is. First time. April 18th is the first time they mention this. Michael Morrissey sends an email to Lynn Beland and Adam Lally that says Google search may exonerate Karen Reed in murder case. And he does not say a word about it. And then on April 20th, he sends a link to Turtleboy. It says Norfolk County DA says he will continue prosecution of innocent woman Karen Reed. Cell phone records indicate John O'Keefe died from being thrown downstairs. I've evolved my thoughts on this over time, but he was in the house no matter what. So April 20th, 2023, he sends a link to my article out. Okay. And then all he says about it is FYI. So he's reading Turtleboy. Now we know he's reading Turtleboy like from day one. Okay. He's following my work. So they know all about this. All right. Then redaction. Sends a Brian Walsh article. The Secret Life of Brian Walsh. She sends that. Another obituary. Okay. Then April 23rd, he sends another link to Lally Fanning, Tully, and Lynn Beland. Defense attorneys in Karen Reed case point to others they say are culpable in the death of John O'Keefe. And he says today's Herald. And then it's just blacked out for some reason. What did he say? I don't know. Then another one. He just goes, FYI. Okay. FYI what? Like, what are we supposed to do with that? All right. And what else do we have here? Okay. Where did I pass 1504 yet? Valet parking. I mean, this guy, the money this guy spends. I mean, whatever. That's the least of his crimes. Here's another one. He sends May 2nd. He sends another email to them all on May 2nd saying lawyers claim crucial evidence was withheld. Okay. Interesting. But again, nobody talks about this. No one's like, oh, geez, do we get the right person? Should we look into this? Wow, she Googled that? That's really messed up. Like, there's no conversation about that whatsoever. This is what this dude does all day. He's like, what am I going to do at work today? Well, I'm going to check the obituaries first and see who I can send a card to. Then I'm going to go read Turtleboy, see if he's got any more information about the case that I'm supposed to be investigating. Then I'm going to forward it to my detectives and just say FYI. and then we're going to call it a day. And then that's it. That's it. We're just going to call it a day. So at this point, he's like not freaking out yet because there's no protests yet. Like he hasn't, you know, I'd never met Jennifer McCabe yet at this point. So he's not freaking out yet. Another email he sends them on May 4th says, Karen Reed, problematic investigation into John O'Keefe's death grabs federal attention. And look what he writes. Please print this out. Is his printer broken? Does he not know how to print shit? Please print this out. Why would you print it? This guy's like, what century is this guy living in? Please print this out. Okay. And why would you want to print that out? And because look, he's freaking out because it says grabs federal attention. So this is the Boston Herald. This is not Turtleboy writing this. This is the Boston Herald writing this. So he's like starting to freak out when he sees that. All right. Oh, this is another interesting story I found out about. Dedham police officer begins prison sentence in Avon kidnapping. So there was a Dedham cop. Okay. Another tangent I went down today. And you'll never guess who this is about. So check this out. There was this cop named Michael Schooner or Schooner. I'll show you right there. All right. He was convicted. There was a guy by the name of, I forget the dude's name, innocent dude. But he was, Robertson was his last name. James Robertson. Okay. 37-year-old father. Starts dating a woman. Turns out her ex-boyfriend is a psychopath and a drug dealer and knows this corrupt cop in Dedham named Michael Schooner. And Schooner gives the drug dealer his gun and his badge. And that guy uses it to kidnap this guy Robertson and then brings him to Canton and tortures him there and murders him. Like, it's fucking crazy. He's from Avon. I'd never heard of this story. Like, this is a crazy story. And this guy is a former cop who gave them the ability to do that because they pretended that they were police or private investigators or something, and they used it to kidnap this guy. Okay. So pretty heinous shit, right? He gets convicted in 2019. Guess who the judge is? You guys know, guess who the judge, see right in the chat knows this. Guess who the judge was on this case? Guess. Everyone's going to say Auntie Bev. Yeah, it was Cosgrove. Cosgrove was the judge on this case. And the guy prosecuted me. And guess what he let this guy do? He sentenced him to 6 to 9 years, more than the non-binding sentencing guidelines, but less than a maximum of 10. But he stayed Schooner's sentence pending appeal at the request of his attorney, and he was allowed to walk out of court. So Cosgrove basically just let this dude walk out of court after he was convicted. And this dude, and I thought that was ironic because Cosgrove has tried to revoke my bail, not once, but twice, over words that I've said on my show. I made comments about Liz Proctor giving blowjobs to her husband, Michael Proctor. I think I said she sucks cop dick or something like that. And he tried to revoke my bail over those comments. Then he tried to revoke my bail over saying what I would like to happen to Brian Tully, what I would enjoy happening to Brian Tully. He does suck. And so this dude thinks that people like me should go to jail. But people like that do this should just walk out of his courtroom for free. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So anyway, that was another rabbit hole that I went down in the Morrissey files. What else we got here? Yeah, so that, okay. A lot of emails here. So I thought this was an interesting time because this is like right when the Karen Reed case is starting to pick up, because I've gotten a hold of it at this point. And let's see what the next footnote I had here was. 1563 was the next one I had of note. No, I mean, just, dude, all this dude does is look at the fucking obituaries. Like, dude, he like loves it. He loves the obituary. These are donors, you know? What a fucking loser. All right. Card. He just goes card every time. I know the son. Maybe send a card. Of course you do. Oh, so the Rollins shit comes out. All right. So now on May 18th. On May 18th, Morrissey sends an email to Lynn Beland and David Traub. It says, documents read the 2 federal investigations of Massachusetts U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins. And it talks about how she was improperly whatever. Okay, we all know Rachel Rollins is unethical, but he knows the federal investigations going on now, and he's trying to tie it to her as best he can, but she was not involved in the federal investigation. Josh Levy was, who was her second in command at the time before she resigned in disgrace, of course. All right, so that's interesting. What else do we got? Oh, so this was great. Okay. So if you'll recall, Morrissey writes an email to the Office of Professional Responsibility and asks them to stop the investigation. But before doing that, he Googles how to file a complaint with the Office of Professional Responsibility. So he doesn't even know what to do. He's like, wait, what's going on here? Wait, why are they looking into me? And he's like, I want to talk to the manager of the DOJ. He wants to talk to the feds are looking into me. I want to talk to the manager, he says. So he Googles how to file a complaint with the Office of Professional Responsibility. You can't make this shit up. And then he sent it to David Traub on May 22nd. And he says, there appears to be both a mailing and email opportunity. Can you make sure we at least mail to the right place and consider putting together an electronic complaint? I'll talk to you later. So instead of looking into the death of John O'Keefe, he's like, I want to talk to the DOJ and tell them to stop. Okay. He gets some discovery from Canton there. Okay. Oh, this whole thing, this whole report that also came out. I thought this was interesting too. Did you guys see this? So this is the accident reconstruction report from Trooper Paul on May 22nd, 2023. It's interesting that he waited like well over a year to do this, and it takes pictures of there. Okay. Clear plastic found there. Looks at the data. It's like they didn't have any of this stuff until after I started writing about it. Isn't that interesting? How they never thought to like look at the Lexus black box data or anything like that until I got involved. Like, we need to strengthen this case. Come up with some bullshit. Call up Trooper Paul. Yeah. He's a real expert, Trooper Paul. I mean, based on the investigation, Karen Reed, the Lexus was stopped along the southbound travel lane. John O'Keefe exits the vehicle. The Lexus travels forward and stops. The Lexus then went into reverse and traveled backwards. After traveling for approximately 62 feet and reaching 24 miles an hour somehow, The Lexus struck the pedestrian along the shoulder of the southbound travel lane. He was projected forward and to the right for approximately 12 feet. Okay. He came to his final rest on 34 Fairview Road. Right. Sure he did. Now, the Aperture is a completely different story, but okay, sure. Whatever you guys say. The operator knew the pedestrian, John O'Keefe, had exited her vehicle. An attentive and reasonable operator would not have backed the vehicle up at such a high rate with knowing the possibility of a pedestrian in the area. Right. Sure she would. Right. Okay. So they got all these pictures and all this shit. And then anything else? Okay. I think that's it. The 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗏 stuff is not in this one. The 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗏 stuff comes, if you guys seen that picture of 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗏 standing by the tail light, that's like before they hired 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗀. They had 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗏 stand in and do it. That's just insane. But notice in Trooper Paul's report here on May 22nd, they don't say anything about the tail light smashing the arm. They don't say that. They're like, he just got hit. But then they're like, that doesn't make sense. We'll just say you got hit in the arm. Okay, that makes even less sense, but okay, sure. More obituaries, blah, blah, blah. Okay, send a card. Yeah, card. Rachel Rollins needed to resign. More Healy says, okay, he's loving that. He hates Rachel Rollins. Yeah, got it. All right, let me find the next one. I always question the comma after contrary. What? Okay. So then he sent, so here's the letter that he got back from the Office of Professional Responsibility. They write him a letter. So they got his stupid letter and they sent him a letter back. On May 18th, you requested that the OPR investigate the decision by the USAO to subpoena individuals who are witnesses in your pending state prosecution to testify before the grand jury in an ongoing federal investigation. You stated that the USAO's investigation is possibly an abusive exercise of power and is likely only based on defendant Karen Reed's specious claims of witness and police misconduct. So he's like, you guys should stop doing this. You're only doing this because Karen Reed, the dastardly Karen Reed, lied to you. Don't you see? You guys need to stop investigating this. It's Karen Reed's fault. She's picking on me. Leave me alone. Okay. Sure thing, Meatball. Actually, just goes on to say the OPR has jurisdiction to investigate allegations of misconduct involving the DOJ attorneys that relate to the exercise of their authority to investigate, litigate, provide legal advice, as well as allegations of misconduct by law enforcement personnel that are related to allegations of attorney misconduct within the jurisdiction of the OPR. However, the office refrains from investigating such issues or allegations if an active investigation is ongoing, which this clearly is. With regard to your request that another office be assigned to the pending grand jury investigation, the OPR forwards your complaint to the Executive Office for the U.S. Attorneys for whatever action it deems appropriate. So fuck off, Morrissey. We are not going to stop investigating you, douchebag. Okay. All right. Let me find my next page. Oh, there's Morrissey. Okay. More pictures of events. Sends a motion on June 6th about it. All right, let me find the next. What page are we on? We're on 1635. My next page is 2264. So it's quite a jump. June 7th. What's this one? All right, let me go to 2264. All right. Did I miss like July's emails? Miss July's emails because that's the rolling rally. We need to find that. June. Okay, we're on June here. What's this one? June 23rd. Okay. June 26th. June 27th. A lot of stuff about the opiate crisis in there. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. July 7th. Superior Court needs to be fixed ASAP. Whoever Howard Wong is, the technology director. Give Howard a break. July 11th, another obituary, hotel bills. You get to see all the, I mean, look at this. How much did he pay here? Another, so Lynn Beeland went to the Embassy Suites and charged the taxpayers $1,191. Yeah. There you go. All right, what else do we have here? What's this? Oh, this is the audit. So his ass got, their office got audited. I did not read this whole thing. I just skipped through it because it's long. It's like hundreds of pages, the audit. So I definitely didn't read all that. So anyway, my next page. So I guess there wasn't anything there. Okay, 2264 is my next page. 2264. What's this? Bro, he's obsessed with obituaries. Parole board stuff. Dick's Sporting Goods loses $2 million a year. Okay. Here it is. So this is on September 1st. He sends John Shaughnessy, who I think is an ADA, a link to Canton Cover-Up Part 124. Jen McCabe's daughter, Allie, was subpoenaed to testify in front of a federal grand jury after Colin Albert and Brian Albert. TB Daily News. So he sends that. And then he sends it to Marie Burton, who I think is, I don't know why he's sending it to these people. And then he forwards that to someone. Then he sends it to Deb Leahy. So that's interesting because so that means he's really interested in the federal shit. He's like, what? Allie McCabe had to testify? What's going on with that? What's going on with that? I want to know more. Again, that's all these people care about is like, what are the feds looking into me? He sends it to Adam Lally on September 1st. Interesting. Parole board stuff. Okay, DNA stuff. Okay. And then on September 2nd, he's had enough. And so he sends an email to the Department of Justice again. U.S. Department of Justice letter. Take a look at this letter and let me know what you think. So he's like, and who does he send that to? Tully. He sends everything to Tully in Lynn B land. This dude is obsessed with Tully. Morrissey says we can talk on Tuesday about the letter. Okay. I think then they think the letter comes up here. COVID tests. And we're still talking about COVID in 2023, really? All right. All right, then we got another one here. Morrissey sends one to Adam Lally on September 8th. It says Laura McLaughlin, and also to Laura McLaughlin and David Traub. Prosecutors in Karen Reed case seek footage from TV interviews. And he goes, I see we asked for Nightline and Dateline interviews. And then it's just redacted. Okay. He sees that. Good job. I thought this was interesting. On September 12th, he sends an email to Lynn Beland, Brian Tully, Adam Lally, McLaughlin, Traub. All right. And it just says, CrimeCon, citizen journalists and investigative social media, considerations in the age of true crime sensationalism. And then he goes, we should set this up in the community room. Lynn will check it out. So they're like all worried about citizen journalists kind of investigating true crime stories, because obviously it's a problem for him. You got all these people who are looking into his shady office and whatever. Okay. And then we got, this is a draft. So he is sending a letter on September 21st to Andrea Campbell. Interesting. She is the Attorney General, the highest law enforcement official in the land of Massachusetts. And it's all blacked out. We don't get to see this freaking email. So he sends a email to Andrea Campbell, and why is that blacked out? I don't know. Then I would love to see this. Then how about this one? On September 26th, he sends an email to Brian Tully, Lynn Beland, and someone at msn.com with the subject, Turtleboy showed up at Canton Selectman meeting. Bro, so what? You're allowed, this is about 2 weeks before I'm jacked up by the popo, right? And let's see. I know I have this article somewhere. Yeah. TV Daily News, Canton Select Board meeting, September 26th. Yeah. Okay. So this is the meeting that prompted Chris Albert to try to get a restraining order on me. If you guys recall, I showed up to a select board meeting and just stood next to Chris Albert with the Chicken Parm Charlie shirt on that just said Chris Albert killed a man. I just silently stood there for like an hour, and this is the funniest shit. This is not illegal. They were like, what are we going to do about this guy? I'm like, dude, this is this might be the most iconic moment in the history of this whole thing. Easily top 10, right? He just stood there, and I held the sign next to him the whole time. All right. And then this is him. He leaves. Oh, this is me when I first got there. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Nice Chicken Parm Charlie.
Look at his face. Look at it. Look at his. Look at that. He's like, there it is. There it is. So Morrissey was watching this, obviously. And by the way, he's been thrown off. The other guy, the chairman's been thrown off. Connolly and the chairman, but we're getting rid of all these punks, all these mofos. Chris is next. This is the one where Chris slams the door on me. Oh, goodness. Okay. And so then I went in there and, yeah, held the sign. Jim Ferris is rude. Chris Albert killed a man. Free Karen Reed. I did not put that as a meme. I didn't do that. Okay. Wanted to make sure he saw me. He's got a notebook with no notes, I noticed. And this is how it ends. And then he slammed the door on me. He slammed the door on me. Yeah, what was up with that, Chris? And yeah, he tried to get a harassment prevention order. He claimed that I was like harassing him or something. I held the signs up, loser. Big deal. I mean, this guy is a loser. And this is what happened when this is my view.
Whoa, what's this violence? Is the First Amendment officially suspended in this town? Chris. Whoa, what's this violence? What's this all about? I'm just trying to ask an elected official a question.
I mean, he is an elected official. So anyway, Morrissey apparently watched that, didn't like it. Yeah, I held the blood pizza sign up. Again, this is not, I didn't like assault a referee on the hockey ice. I didn't, give my badge and gun to someone so they could kidnap somebody, whatever. But like, I got to go to jail and those guys don't. Okay, sure. Right. Okay. I'm the bad guy because I went to a select board. Turtleboy shows up to Canton Selectman meeting. I mean, it was trolling. Like I was protesting and trolling. Like, but because he's a witness, you can't do that. Oh, he's a special class of citizen. Oh no. He's really scared of me. Okay, sure thing, Chris. Let me go real quick. I'm going to go to my Twitch because I screenshot. I was kind of doing these throughout the whole day. Let me see what I got on my Twitch. I don't want to miss any because some of them I might not have written page numbers down for. Oh, this one. Okay. So on July 2023, how did I miss this email? This was July 18th. To Jennifer Cotter. Okay, so he sends an email to Jennifer Cotter at the AGO's office. And it just says forward law. And he sends her a link to the witness intimidation statute. And this is big. When it comes to my case, this is big. He tries to go to the Attorney General's office about me in July. On July 14th, he's already emailing them. And he's trying to he sends the link to the witness intimidation statute. And he's telling them to charge me with witness intimidation. And he's doing this. And we don't get to see any of the responses from the AGO. None. So we don't know what they say. We know that I was never charged by the AGO. We see later on that he's upset that they didn't charge me. But we don't get to see what they actually say. And this is really important because why is he going to the AGO to have me charged? Because he knows it would look really bad if his office charged me because I'm accusing his office of corruption. I'm exposing them. And you can't have the same state cops who I'm accusing of corruption and, arresting innocent people, arresting the reporter who's talking about you arresting innocent people. That would look really bad, So he's like, maybe I can get the AGO to do it. And the Attorney General's office clearly turns him down. And so he's like, well, I guess we're going to have to do it ourselves. And again, the text, this is like what's so fucked up about this. This is definitely going to help our case when it comes to getting the messages unimpounded. Because these are all public. A lot of these are I have had a lot of these already. I just haven't been able to break the story on them. Other people got to break the story now. You know what I mean? That's not fair. But either way, we have messages from Michael Proctor, 𝗬𝗏 𝗫𝗏𝗃, Jennifer McCabe, Chris Albert, Michael Morrissey, and others from July of 2023 through October of 2023, where you see the evolution of how they decide I'm charged. We have all those. And spoiler alert, Michael Proctor had a lot to do with it. A lot. He wanted to be a victim really badly. A disgraced trooper, Michael Proctor. And these should all be made public. Like, you have a right to see the things that Michael Proctor said about me. Because he said them on his government, or I mean, any communications with a police officer in which he's talking about government business on his phone is public, man. It's public. We have a right to see all those. So anyway, yeah, so let's see. Did I miss any others here? Allie McCabe one I got. Okay. Got that one, that one. All right, cool. Next up. Let's go back to this. But let me read some turtle chats. Let me take a break here to read some turtle chats, will you? I want to get these all in. All right. Oh, Victoria George sends $20. Attorney Victoria George Esquire, also known as juror number 4, I think she was in the first. I forget what number she was, but sup, Turtle Boy, Victoria George here. I just wanted to buy a coffee for you and your lawyers before your hearing on Wednesday. You are awesome. Keep fighting for justice. Well, thank you very much, Victoria. You're awesome as well. I really appreciate that. So, and don't let the twit-twat fools get you down. You're doing great work. Thank you. All right, next up. Romy sends $50 and goes, please tell me Kofan Doofus pops up in the Morrissey email. She does not. I don't see her anywhere in there. We've already seen her. She messages. We got the emails of her with David Traub, you know, so we'll see. Next up, Paul Young sends $5 and goes, does Governor Healy have anything to say about the corruption under Morrissey? No, she's useless, completely useless. Thank you. Morgan sends $5, goes, the momentum is really shifting hard against this DA and the McAlberts. In my opinion, there is no way your case goes to trial. Their testimony in the exposure of corruption will be 100 times worse than what we saw in Karen's trial. I just don't see them coming back after the fat L they just took in the retrial. And then on top of all the embarrassing emails you're sitting on, I'm saying, Morgan, I'm saying, how can they go to trial with me? Now, my lawyers think, I don't know, they we'll see. They're ready for a trial. We'll go to trial if we need to. But, you know, I'm looking at the clock here and I'm like, well, it's August of 25 right now. There's an election in November of 2026. I cannot imagine a new district attorney pursuing these charges. Like, imagine Juna Perkins gets elected DA and continues to charge me. She can go fuck herself if that happens. But I would hope not. And honestly, I think we need a statement from all these DA people. There's like 3 people who are running from DA, and I'm not really impressed by any of them, to be honest with you. Like, I like it, but we need more. Like, they should be, every time these email dumps come out, they should be pounding, going on social media, pounding this shit, letting them know this is absolutely disgraceful, and making pledges and promises that when they get elected, this is over. All this shit's done. The prosecution of Turtleboy and all these other people for witness intimidation, we're done doing that. We are on a new era. We are burying this. The Karen Reed case was a disaster. And we don't want anything to do with it anymore. Done. Like, how hard is that to say? Like, I feel like it's not controversial either just to say that, you know? All right, next up. Pamela sends $10, goes, your eyes are really popping tonight. Just wanted to let you know that your eyes looked really good tonight. My eyes? For real? I don't think they look that good. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Next up, Lally loves USC. I can't believe Lally went to USC. That's wild. That's where Liza Little went to school. He went to the same school as Liza Little. That's crazy. So I appreciate that. And he goes, take one for the Gipper. Okay, thank you, Lally loves USC. Nikki sends $10 and goes, do the emails include messages sent to Morrissey's email or responses to him? Is it just what he writes? There are some responses to him, not that many. It's mostly his emails, but there are some responses as we've seen already, but it's mostly his. You're right. I did think that was a little bit suspicious. Beverly sends $10 and has no comment. Thank you. Rosaline sends $10, goes, Dr. Turtleboy, which Morrissey email were you most shocked by? Or were you already familiar with all the content of his messages? Good luck this week at court. Hope you guys school Cosgrove. He needs to see the errors in his ways. You know, the one where he asks Ron Mariano and the other one they're not included. He also sends one to Karen 𝗵𝗂𝗃, the Senate president, and asks them for $1 million to hire a special prosecutor in the case. I thought that was the juiciest one. Like, bro, you have a right to know as taxpayers, dude. You have a right to know that your district attorney is lobbying the state house and asking for $1 million to hire Hank Brennan. Why? He has ADAs who can do this. He has ADAs. Like, why can't he do that? You know, why can't he hire his own? We'll see. I mean, you don't need to hire anyone. You're already paying people to do this. All right. Elise sends $5, goes, can you go over the rest of the fake victim trial? Oh, I never did that, huh? Maybe on maybe Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday we can go over the rest of that. You're right, because I never finished that, did I? Thank you for the reminder. Darren sends $5 and goes, Doctor, were you at Encore Casino a few weeks ago? I thought it was you, but didn't want to bother you. I hope you won't big. I did go to Encore Casino. I like to play poker. So it was it was a Friday night. It was like the Friday before I went on vacation. So don't be bashful. A couple of people took pictures of me there. We had a good time. It was fun. So thank you for that one. Lee from Plainville sends $10 and goes, my brother was one of the kidnappers on the James Robertson case. What? He was found dead in my mother's garage in Canton. What? I went against the stayed sentence on Schoner. It was a slap in the Robertson family face. Cosgrove was the judge. Tully was the lead investigator. This is why I was set up by fake victim and her protector in June of 2023 with a fake order of discrimination against me by Canton. What? That's a lot. He was killed in your garage? What? That didn't see that one coming. That's an interesting turtle chat. Okay. Well, all right. Suzanne sends $10 and goes, Doctor, when do these emails go through? I thought it was the last fall that you guys found out about the burner email. Did you stop using it when you called him out? That's a great, yeah, kind of. They stopped right after we called him out for it. You're right. That's a good question. But you're right. It's correct. So thank you for that. I mean, this literally came, like, all of this is public now because of the Betterrow letters. That's what this is. All right. A couple of cash apps before we get back to it. We got here. Emily sends $5 and goes, Utah, thanks, you're amazing. Oh, I love my Utes. My Utes, 2 Utes out there in Utah. Thank you. Kaylee sends $5 and says, hey there, Doc. It doesn't make you feel so special that you were the topic of conversation throughout the entire Norfolk DA's office. Could you please wish my mom, Jody, a happy birthday? It's Monday, 8/11. Well, happy birthday, Jody. It's a good birthday season. My son had his 8th birthday 2 days ago. It was lovely. My sister's got a birthday coming up on the 11th, actually, too. So it's good birthday seasons. Thank you. And yes, it is flattering that they read all my stuff and talk about me all the time. Carrie sends $5 and goes, what happened with the Petro and the Albert sighting? I don't know. I guarantee they wanted to get him under control because he was starting to worry. Are they ever going to sue or what? You know, are they ever going to sue or what? So apparently not. All right, cool. If you guys want your messages read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat or cash at me at $Uncle_Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. Okay. The next one. So I have September 29th is the next one. September 27th. _28th. All right, the 29th. Oh, this. Okay, so this is one. This is what ultimately got them caught. This was the email. We've done a whole show on this one, so we won't go over it too much. But Morrissey emails 𝗬𝗎 𝗵𝗺, who is like in charge of judges, I guess, in the state or something, on September 28th to issue his September 29th to talk about his grave concern that an affidavit was shared with a blogger who was writing about the 𝗵𝗵𝗃 murder case. That somebody, a witness, Chris Albert, filed a request for a harassment prevention order, which was heard by Judge O'Malley. The application and affidavit were processed in the Civil Clerk Department of Stoughton District Court and presented to the judge, which after hearing was denied. We were informed by the witness and others that shortly after the hearing that Aidan Kearney, aka Turtleboy, was provided with a copy of the entire affidavit. There is no way that he would have been aware of the proceeding without an insider working in the courthouse. That is a lie, because this took place in a public courtroom that anyone could see. It's not some secret thing. These guys are obsessed with like that no one can know about what's happening. Like, why are they so secretive? The leading individual who presents as a possible leak is Michelle Littlefield. Well, how would they know that? How would he know that? I'd never spoken to Michelle Littlefield before. As it turns out, a guy had messaged me the affidavit of this who knew Michelle Littlefield, but I didn't speak to her directly. So it's like another one of those like secondhand whatever. Okay, so she did nothing wrong, but Morrissey just assumes it's her. And I go, dear Chris and he sends my post where I go, dear Chris Albert, I know what you did today. Blog coming soon. Chris Albert applied for an order against me, and his affidavit is the funniest thing I've ever seen. All this because I peacefully protested at the Board of Selectmen. And this is a message from Jennifer McCabe where she says, I know it's late, but I am horrified that Chris didn't get it. And I'm even more disgusted. For the second time, someone from the court leaked it right away to Turtleboy. So Jen McCabe is horrified. So she sends this to the DA's office and they just jump. Okay. The above comment from a witness, Jennifer McCabe, also received the same treatment when I found out about her trying to get an order on me. From the comments from one of the witnesses, you can see that they've completely lost all confidence in the courts of the Commonwealth. I have to agree that the actions erode the trust and integrity between the courts and the public in the relationship with the DA's office. We're extremely concerned about the improperly disseminated court material unsolicited to a third party. Improperly disseminated, it's a public document, which is continuing to cause harm and damage to witnesses. How is posting a publicly filed court affidavit harming witnesses? How is, like, it's their own words. How is that harming them? And it must be a violation of court policies or a potential violation of the law. We also understand that he has immediately requested copies of the FTR record that was made. Again, there is no way he should have known about the hearing taking place. Like, it's a secret. These are completely unacceptable and must be resolved immediately. So do your job. So he tells them what to do. And 𝗙𝗵𝗺 𝗺𝗃, instead of saying, hey, dude, email me on your government email address, writes back, I've copied both Chief Justice Locke and Clerk Magistrate Lauren Green of the Stoughton District Court on my response, as these allegations involve a member of her staff, and under her supervision, she would be responsible for investigating. And they don't fire her until a couple weeks later when they get my phone, and then they go through my phone and they find out who my source is. It's like the first thing they look for, and they fire Michelle Littlefield. So there's that. That whole debacle. Okay. And more obituaries. Okay. Then right back to the obituaries. Good job, Meatball. Next up I had was November 10th. Let me find November 10th. What page is that on? I have 2338 listed here. Oh, we already passed that. 2512. Okay, would be the next one. Okay, so this is interesting. All right, so check this out. All right. All right. So remember in July, Morrissey contacts the AG's office, who does nothing about me. They're like, he's got a right to do this. They don't do anything. So then I'm charged on, they arrest me October 11th. On November 1st, I'm in court in front of Judge Corrupt, or Judge Crap, as he's more commonly known as. And I go in front of him, and I've played the video of it before. He's like, grills Bradel about like, why did he say this about Colin Albert? Bang, bang, mofo. We're the Advantage Boys. Why did he say that? It's a joke, dipshit, but okay. And he ends up issuing a ruling after that in which he institutes or keeps in place stay away orders that were put in the district court. And he basically says that what I'm doing is not free speech. It's not First Amendment protected. It's witness intimidation. He says it was not a good ruling for me. Okay. And so that was a good day for the prosecution when that came out. And so Morrissey's loving this. Morrissey immediately sends that ruling to Andrea Campbell at the DA's office. Why do you think he sends it to her? Because he's like, see, I told you so. I told you this is witness intimidation. Can you do something now? Can you help us out here? Right? Because he attaches the ruling against me. Like, this ruling is, I largely disagree for the following reasons. To say the defendant is taking a pro-defense position is to understate the level of his partisanship and advocacy. Okay. He says Karen Reed is a completely innocent woman wrongly charged by corrupt cops who would see her rot in prison in order to cover up a fellow officer. And about the deceased's family, with the O'Keefes, enough of the fucking pity party for these fucking people. The only good part about John O'Keefe not being alive is that he doesn't have to be around these useless maggots for a second more. Fuck you. Fuck your high horse. Burn in hell. Okay. You might not like that. That might be unsavory. It's not illegal. All these quotes suggest that the defendant prides himself on not being a conventional journalist. So what? In pursuit of his performative journalism and personal brand, the defendant has berated witnesses in the Reed case, badgered them, although they have indicated that they don't wish to speak to him. That has never once happened. Not once did any of these people ever say, I don't want to talk to you. Not once. And pressured them to change their testimony. What? And then he includes a footnote about journalists generally adhere to codes of ethics Like what? Defendant has been able to increase his following substantially based on monthly page views and viewership with his confrontational stories, live videos. So what? So what? Harassing telephone calls. Defendant has posted on his YouTube video in which he issues veiled threats, or encourages his followers to take action with respect to such witnesses. One example, after visiting homes in Canton, he posted a video in which he stated, "It must frustrate him to no end because I know Brian Albert is watching this right now, to watch me just emasculate his family time after time, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing you can do, and I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep, this is not my last trip to Canton. I will be back." And more, I think people are like, I was talking about the lady with the boy's regular haircut. The defendant contends that Detective Lieutenant Tully takes his comments out of context. To the extent possible, I have tried to confirm the accuracy of the quotations in this decision by reviewing the actual video clips supplied by the Commonwealth. After the defendant posted this video, Chris Albert's restaurant had a vast increase in the number of telephone orders not picked up or paid for. What? He just makes up this lie that I sent pizzas to his house. I mean, so anyway, so this was not a good ruling. And Morrissey loves it. Morrissey gets a huge erection over this. Starts blasting it everywhere. He's like, oh yeah, they're loving this. And then he sends it to someone named 𝗃𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗃, who I Google him, and he was on Survivor, apparently. Okay. And yeah, that was interesting. I don't know why he's sending it to him. He's like an attorney, I guess. So he's sending this out to everyone. He's like, check this ruling out, guys. Turtleboy's bad. Turtleboy bad. See, Judge Corrupt thinks he's bad too. Andrea, now this is the part, this is the most fucked up one. This is the most interesting thing in the whole caboodle, I think, that we need to see this. Andrea Campbell writes him back. This is what we need to see. Why is this redacted? Hi, DA. He doesn't even say hi, Mr. Morrissey or Mike or whatever. She doesn't say, why are you using your burner email to contact me? But it's all blacked out. We need to see this. We need to see that. How is this redacted? Why can't we see this? This is completely pertinent to my case. Imagine she says something like, you know, we don't think that's witness intimidation. We're not going to be pursuing this. It's a long thing. We need to see. How is this blacked out, bro? We need to see that. So we, and because he had previously wrote, I look forward to hearing from your office. Who else does he send it to? David Traub. All excited about that. Okay. Next up. Next page I got is page. What are we on here? 2,500s. Okay. Next one is page 2,735. Let me go to that. All right. So he starts sending around this email or this letter that he wrote to Josh Levy, in which he tells them, you should stop investigating us. This is the one where they respond and they tell him to fuck off. We're going to investigate whatever we want. So 2,735. Okay. So there's that. And they respond by saying, oh, this, I'd never seen this one before, actually. Okay. So this is really interesting. So this is a 2015 email. that Morrissey includes. So there is somebody in the United States Attorney's Office who was involved in this investigation named Dustin Chow. His wife is named Lauren Greenberg Chow, and she used to work for the Norfolk County DA's office. She now is in private practice. In 2015, she filed a complaint against 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗃. And so what Morrissey is saying is the United States Attorney's Office is picking on us because the wife of one of their attorneys used to work for us and is upset, is still bitter about that. She's still salty. Always picking on the Asian people. And then he goes, and so we have reviewed and investigated your allegations of misconduct against DA 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗃. Based upon investigation, we do not find any evidence that she inappropriately applied prosecutorial standards to this matter and do not find any evidence in violation of the Massachusetts rules of professional conduct. This is closed. So she attempted to file a complaint against 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗃. It went nowhere. And so their plan of action to get the DOJ to stop was to say, look, they're biased. Dustin Chow's wife is still salty about something that happened 10 years ago. Oh, yeah. It didn't work out. Okay. So, this is how pathetic they are. All right. Next up. Oh, actually, I've got another one. I want to see November 22nd, 2023. That's another one I need to see. And yes, I am going to reverse FOIA that to get Andrea Campbell's. I think we'll do that tomorrow. November 22nd. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. Proposed letter. What's all this? All right. FBI, did I see there? FBI docs. Why can't we see it? A lot of this shit's like blacked out too. Okay. November 22nd. So this is the day when the Canton Police Department gets audited at a town meeting. And he sends it to 𝗃𝗏, 𝗵𝗏𝗃𝗏, 𝗟𝗏𝗏, and others. And says, put this on the list of issues that we will expect to see. And then he sends a comment from the Boston Globe in which people it's an audit to determine if there's areas of improvement. It's about the shoddy investigation and Birchmore. So he goes on the Boston Globe and like reads all the comments and shit. Okay. Anyway, so he's a little bit worried about that, it seems. And then he includes, comments from that article, the Boston Globe article, blah, blah, blah. All right. Helena Rafferty being a good soldier for the cause. Okay, how about this? So on November 21st, Morrissey sends an email to Laura McLaughlin and Adam Lally and says it's a proposed letter. And he goes, I would like to send the following letter, not letter, let her, the following let her out to the agent in charge of the FBI. However, I've spoken to Pamela and I would like your input and suggestions. Okay. And so he sends a letter to Jodi Cohen, who he had met that weekend, and tries to schmooze her up. I don't know if you guys remember this letter that he wrote. He sends this letter out to Jodi Cohen, and it is like saying, oh, it was great meeting you the other day. You're so cool. Like, oh, thank you. Oh, you know what he said in the email? He said to them, that if you want to speak to any of my agents, any of my detectives, they'd be happy to talk to you. And she goes, yeah, we're all set. We don't need to speak to Brian Tully. We're actually investigating Brian Tully. So we're good. We're good with that regard, you know? Yeah, he goes, it was a pleasure to meet you at the State House for the governor's press conference on hate crime enforcement. I want to again extend my welcome and best wishes to you in your role as Boston special agent in charge, and I look forward to working with you in the future. I also wanted to renew this office's offer for your agents to speak with the state police who were involved in the John O'Keefe Canton murder investigation. Okay. Right. Sure thing. Call Brian Tully at this number, 781-830-4800. Okay. Yeah, we should get right on that. Okay. All right. Oh, and this is interesting too. Boyle Shaughnessy Law, his old law firm. He keeps trying to get them work. I thought that was interesting. There's a bunch of stuff for Boyle Shaughnessy. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. Let's see. Next page I had was, what page are we on now? 2577. So the next page I had was 2735. Let me find 273. Oh no, we already read that one. No, read that one. Okay, next one I had was 2773. Pull that up. All right. It's Morrissey on January 5th. So I'm in jail at this point. There's no emails about me going to jail. I was really hoping to find something like that, but none of that. And he just says, interesting take. And it is, oh, this. Yeah. So he sends, dude, this is insane how obsessed with me this guy is. He sends on January 5th to Lally, Beland, Tully, Traub, McLaughlin, and John Mon, the colonel of the state police. Interesting take. Turtleboy may be things, but he's not a journalist. It's from a redacted email, so he doesn't show the email. So this chick thinks she's like some big shot. You know, I'm a real journalist. He's not a journalist. And then at the end, Karen Reed has raised 6 figures for her defense fund. He was jailed on December 26th on a domestic violence charge brought by his ex-girlfriend. Dropped and not an ex-girlfriend. He's due back on January 25th. Okay. Let's hope real reporters will show him how real journalism works. And this was sent to Morrissey's burner email address. So she is familiar with Morrissey's burner email address and sends it to him for some strange reason. And her name is Thompson, Miss Thompson from Sandwich. And she complains in here about me here in Sandwich. She lives in Sandwich, Mass. We got to see a little of Turtleboy's ham-fisted tactics nearly 2 years ago when he turned his flamethrower on an unfortunate incident at the high school. His antics gained a lot of clicks, but brought no clarity to the moment, revealed no facts, and the only thing he did was gin up racially tinged innuendo and slime a parent whose only crime was voicing her opinion on Facebook. And so I'm like, I can't. So this woman has a beef with me because I wrote about her town and I Googled it, and it was this town. Sandwich school committee member resigns after sending drunken threats to RN and passing out during a Zoom meeting. So this is a school committee member named Angela Delphi who got resigned after calling an RN a fucking skank. I'm your worst nightmare, you lying cunt. Why don't you come see me and I'll show you a thing or two? So this is the kind of stories I used to write about and miss these stories. She's just a nut. Is this her passed out?
Because the ESP doesn't know how to teach the
Oh,
students.
look at her. There she is right there.
And I've been listening in, and I know other parents have.
That's her.
And they said
corner.
they don't mind the ESP being trained.
Look at, she passes out. She passes out.
Going back in September.
She's right there.
All of these kids are going to be so far behind the 8 ball.
So she passes out in the middle of a
Second
meeting.
thing, and you said that you were looking for coordination. Yep.
Look at it. And then she comes.
Right.
Look at
Why aren't they
look at this.
coordinating all
So this dude comes out. The husband comes out, and she's like, "Honey, you're passed
education
out.
coordinators,
You
correct?
passed out
Department
during the
chairs is what
meeting."
we call them in sandwich. Yep.
Look at the husband comes over.
Why aren't they?
He's like, "Honey, you're
coordinating all this
drunk
care
again."
Instead of leading it on the parents, and now
And then he closes the Zoom. That's funny, dude. She's wasted. She just. So anyway, I wrote about that, and I guess it's racist. I don't even know how it's racist, but she doesn't like me because of that. And so she sends that to Morrissey, and he's like, "Interesting take. Let's send this crazy lady's thing to Brian Tully, and Turtleboy's not a real reporter." It's like, why are they so worried about me? Why don't they go out and find out who killed John O'Keefe? That seems more important to me. Okay, next page. We got here 2850. Okay, what do we got there? How about this? No response. So Morrissey writes an email on January 18th to Lynn Beland, David Traub, Lally, and the bunch. No response from the prosecutors until David issued a statement, which is not mentioned in the article. What? Is he talking about Traub or Yannetti? I don't even know. I sent the statement directly to the person who had contacted me from Court TV, who I had known had flown out in Boston to go to the hearing. I don't even get what he's talking about there. I was in jail for this, so I missed all this. Oh, and then there's this. A fee agreement with Boyle Shaughnessy, his own law firm. And look at this. So he is paying his old law firm, Boyle and Shaughnessy, money for advice relative to the lawsuit captioned Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. So he's paying his old office for advice, apparently. The client is to be billed an hourly basis. Specifically, the client will be charged, which is the DA's office, $350 an hour for work performed by an attorney or $90 for a paralegal. The client will pay Boyle Shaughnessy a $1 retainer receipt, which is hereby acknowledged. So that's, dude. So he's giving his, and he says, print this out. He's obsessed with printing. So he basically hires his old law firm and gives them money for advice. Like, how crazy is that? You need advice? What do you need advice for? Hey, how should we prosecute this case? And how about this one? He sends an email to himself from his burner account to his government account. And what does he send? Oh, Turtleboy. I wrote this article in jail. He sends a Turtleboy article to himself from his burner email to his non-burner email. Why? Dude is obsessed with me. Oh, job lot. Okay. Yeah. What's up next? Next page. Next, what we have here is, what are we on now? We're up to 3,000 yet. We're 280. Okay. What's this? Please print this out on January 25th. And it's an article written by Brad Petroshan of the Telegram and Gazette, who actually wrote a really good article that kind of sums up how I was set up. He actually wrote about it for the first time. And he's like, print this out. Okay. Why? So the world can see how corrupt you are? Okay. Fine by me. All right. Next up. 2995 is the next one I have. All right. On February 23rd, so this is the day I got out of jail. He sends an email to all the usual suspects and says, Turtleboy blogger Aidan Kearney indicted on new charges. And then it's redacted for some reason. And it just says, and he sends a link to the article about the fake victim. And he says, Jane, who is Lindsay Gattani, the fake victim, who pretends to, and oh, dude, I got so much shit on her too. Also said that Reed was interviewed by federal law enforcement and that Jane had received a grand jury summons on December 22nd and agreed to meet with Kearney the following night. So he sends this to himself. No, did he send this to? No, he sends this to the usual suspects. Like, why is he sending that to them? Okay. Anyway, next up is 3075. Let's go to 3075. All right. Oh, he sends the buffer zone thing. I don't know why I wrote that one down. To Fanning. For some reason, he sends the buffer zone thing to Fanning. I thought that was interesting. Why would he send that to Fanning? I don't know. Next up, I had 3184. Morrissey to David Traub. It says, who is Karen Reed and why are some calling to free her? It says, save this article. So this is once the first trial has already begun. So he is asking people to save articles about the case. Let me make sure I didn't miss any here. Oh, I missed a big one on December 8th, 2023. I got to go find that one. December 8th, 2023. December 30th, 2023. Oh, here we go. December 7th. Okay, I missed some good stuff here. We got to go over. All right. December 7th, he sends an email to Brian Tully, Ian Whiffin's Cellbrite resume. And then he sends it to Colonel Mon. Why is he sending it to Colonel Mon? What does Colonel Mon have to do with any of this? Why is he sending an email to Colonel Mon about Ian Whiffin? Ian is the gentleman from Cellbrite who provided us with a multi-page report on the Reed phone issues. He recently published an article on his blog, which I have attached. In layman's terms, read the first and last page of the blog about misidentifying data in the appropriate timeframes. The phone technical people in my office tell me that his article answers the question of why the defendant's experts in the Reed case are not correct. Okay. So basically I found some guy and I like what he says. So we're going to go with him. And Colonel Mon, you could trust me, bro. You could trust me, bro. Ian Whiffin said so. Trust me, bro. Okay. All right. Let me find the December 8th one now. All right. This is an interesting one about the neo-Nazis. Oh, this is a really good one. All right. So Morrissey sends an email to Lynn Beland, Brian Tully, Lally, McLaughlin, all these other ones. Okay. And it's an article from the Boston Globe that says the Mass Attorney General, which is Andrea Campbell, sues a neo-Nazi group and 2 of its leaders over harassment, intimidation. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff that Andrea Campbell's interested in. Right. And then his response to this is, I guess picketing outside of a delicatessen and witnesses' homes doesn't qualify as witness intimidation in the eyes of the Attorney General. She has other priorities. Bro, I need to highlight that right now. Where is my highlighter? Which one? No, that doesn't highlight it. I guess I can use this. Give me this. I'm going to underline that. Doesn't qualify as witness intimidation in the eyes of the Attorney General. That's a context clue. That means Andrea Campbell said to him that the rolling rally is not witness intimidation. Protesting outside of Chris Albert's pizza shop is not witness intimidation. Print it out. Print it out right now. We need that. That's why, dude, that's huge. If that's evidence, if he went to the AGO and she told him point blank, this is not witness intimidation, that's exculpatory. We need that. How have we not gotten this information? Like, this is the biggest mistake they ever made, is coming at me, because they came at a journalist. They came at a guy who digs into shit. I'm going to find this shit. We're going to get it. We need that. She told him point blank. And then he's like, oh, see? She's going after the neo-Nazis, but she's not going after Turtleboy. He's worse than the neo-Nazi. He protests outside of delicatessens, which D&E pizza is not a delicatessen. They make mediocre chicken parm there. They suck. Then on December 30th, he had another interesting one. Oh, he gets so excited when Jody Cohen actually writes back. All she wrote to him was, thank you. We received the letter and are working with the USAO to determine needs moving forward. The feds don't give you shit. He couldn't find, he was so mad he couldn't get anything out of her. All right, where's the December 30th one? December 29th. Oh, another obituary. Okay. How about this? On December 30th, he sends an email out to Lynn Beland and Brian Tully and David Traub entitled High Profile Court Cases in the South Shore. And he goes, Karen Reed did not make the list. And he spells Karen wrong. Karen is spelled Carin, because he doesn't want this coming. He knows how to spell Karen Reed. He doesn't want this coming up in searches. In if somebody does a record search for Karen Reed, he doesn't want this coming up. So he's spelling it wrong on purpose. And he's like gloating. See, she's not even important. Well, dipshit. I'm sorry, but Canton is not a South Shore town. Okay, first of all, let's clear that up right now. Canton is not the South Shore. I don't know where the South Shore starts, but if I could ramble off the South Shore towns that come to mind, I would say it's like, South Shore starts in Weymouth, right? Weymouth, Hingham, Hull, Cohasset, Scituate, Marshfield, Duxbury, Plymouth, Wareham. It ends at Wareham. All right. After that is the South Coast, Marion, Mattapoisett, all that stuff. Rockland, Hanover, Whitman, Hanson, Abington. That's the South Shore. Pembroke, I don't know if I said that. Kingston, Plimpton, Halifax, Carver, Middleborough. That's the South Shore. Canton's not the South Shore. It's not. I wouldn't even say Quincy's the South Shore, right? So that's like Metro Boston. Canton touches Boston. There's a small part of Canton that actually borders Hyde Park. There's no roads that take you into there. It's all woods. But yeah, Norwell's the South Shore. I miss Norwell. Okay, I said Duxbury, but Canton is not the South Shore. Okay, let's just keep that a buck right now. Taunton's not the South Shore. You have to be close to the shore to be in the South Shore. I mean, Randolph is borderline. I would say it's either, like Milton is not the South Shore. Stop it. If Quincy's not the South Shore, Milton's definitely not the South Shore. No way. That's Metro Boston. Hingham is. I would say that the South Shore starts in Weymouth. I will give you Braintree. Maybe. Abington. I will give you those ones. But I'm not giving you Canton. Not even close. Not even close to the South Shore. Okay? Not even close. Yeah, exactly. Plymouth County is the South Shore. Except for Cohasset, Weymouth, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just the Plymouth County. That's it. I wouldn't even say Brockton. No, Brockton's not the South Shore either. It doesn't count. Doesn't count. You have to be close to the shore, period. And I would say the North Shore is, and that's another topic for debate. You know, some people are like, oh, where are you from? I'm from North Shore. Oh, yeah, what town are you from? Reading? I guess. The North Shore is Chelsea. I don't even say that's North Shore because that's like Metro Boston. Like Revere, I guess, would be North Shore. That's where it would start. And then it's like Saugus, definitely, obviously. Lynn, Peabody, Beverly, Salem, Marblehead. I guess you could say, and then really the upper North Shore, then you got Manchester by the Sea, Rockport, Gloucester, obviously, Ipswich, all the way up to Salisbury. You got, you know, I guess Linfield could be considered, Nahant, obviously. Linfield could, I mean, that's like a tweener one. But yeah. Anyway, back to the emails. All right. So the next one I have is from February 23rd. I got that one. Okay, the Morrissey finding out March 13th when he finds out about Sandra Birchmore. That's a wild one. Let's go to that. March 13th. March 29th. Okay. Oh, all right. So March 13th, he finds out about Sandra Birchmore and that people think she was killed. And he sends David Traub an email and he goes, talk to me about this. And then he sends a link to a story in, I don't know what newspaper. Oh, it's just a picture of a screenshot about how people think that Melissa Berry, who runs the Justice for Sandra Birchmore Facebook group, said there's been far too many questions that have not been answered in relation to her death. So he's like, talk to me about this. Tell me about Sandra Birchmore. Then sends another one about butt dials and conspiracies in the Karen Reed case to David Traub and says to print it out, put it on the fridge. Gonna hold on to that one. What else do we have here? Shares the Howie Carr columns. Oh, Liam Lowney. I thought this was an interesting one on May 1st. What is up with this? April 10th. plane tickets. April 20th. Good day. April 24th. Where's May 1st? April 26th. I just heard it banging. I don't know what that was. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. Look at this. He sends an article on Karen Reed trial obsessions turn to psychics and Facebook for help. It's just, keep this. Okay. Print this one out. How about this one? He sends an email to Liam Lowney. And he goes, I left a message for Audrey and Anthony a short time ago, and I hope to speak to them soon. I want to say very explicitly to you and the board that you were right to bring to my attention how insensitive and inappropriate that phrase was in that context and setting. I have enormous respect for you and all the board members, and I want to give you my heartfelt apology. And so I'm like, please share this email with the other board members and MOVA staff who you deem appropriate. Like what? And so I Google Liam Lowney. Let me Google Liam Lowney, Michael Morrissey. What comes up? It's about civil forfeiture. He's the executive director for the Office for Victim Assistance. All right. So I don't know what happened there between them, but Michael Morrissey said something inappropriate to him. So I thought that was interesting. All right. What else do we have? On May 23rd, what is this? He sends all these links about the trial, and he's just obsessed with reading about himself. I noticed it's just full of it. There are so many emails that he writes with links to like news coverage of the trial. Like he's obsessed with it. All right, this is interesting. He sends Brian Barrera, who's he's a former guest on. He's been on the Young Jerks many times. He's an attorney. He does estate law. That's his Twitter handle, and he's pro Karen Reed, and he sends a tweet from May 3rd, a tweet from Brian Barrera to David Traub and says, "Keep this in our file," and then they keep part of it redacted. So I went and found this tweet and retweeted it today. The Brian Barrera one. And this is the tweet. And I don't know if Brian's watching right now. But this is his long tweet here about how Greg Henning basically lied. Greg Henning is Brian Albert's attorney. And that he lied in court when he said that he has said in court on May 3rd, 2023, or was it May 24th, 2023? I forgot. He said in court one time, in opposition to the defense's attempt to get animal control records from the Canton Animal Control, he said that Chloe had never bit a human being before. And that turned out to be a lie. He just lied. And so that's what this is about. And it's just interesting that Morrissey is seeing these goddamn tweets and like sharing them in emails on his burner email account. Like, dude, this is what you do all day, Morrissey? Like, what? Okay. So anyway, I'll just go to my Twitch-twat now. I shared some of the important ones on my Twitch-twat. Let's go through these real quick so I don't have to keep going back and forth. He sends an email. There's a victim witness advocate apparently named Molly Loftus who works for him. She is related to Catherine Loftus, it turns out. So now we know why she's such a hack for the government. He sends an email to Yvonne Abraham, who he sends an article. So she wrote some hit piece that the trolls loved. See, she tells it how it is. And she writes this whole article about how Turtleboy is picking on the O'Keefes, grieving family. Okay. Yeah, right. And so Morrissey writes to her and says, Sunday's article was well done. The DA's office tries to speak for victims, and there is only one set of victims in this case, the extended O'Keefe family. No, motherfucker. Karen Reed's also a victim of your corruption, but okay. And then Yvonne Abraham writes back from the Boston Globe, thanks so much. That's how useless the Boston Globe is. I hope Yvonne Abraham's proud of herself. Like most journalists go into the profession, like, I want to hold the powerful accountable. And she's like, I want to get nice compliments from the DA. Thank you. You know, that made her fucking day because she's fucking useless. She is absolutely useless. People like her. All right. What else do we have here? What other interesting stuff was in there? I'm sure you read this. Look at this. Oh, this guy. July 13th, he sends an email to Laura McLaughlin saying, I am sure they read this. And then read this, says DA. It's like, do you think you're funny? Is that like a joke? Okay. And then after this is when he finds out. This is a wild one. When he finds out that Matthew Farwell had been arrested by the feds, he sends an email to all Fanning and all these people. He goes, is there any truth to this? Oh my God. Yeah. Is this true? Oh my goodness gracious. How about this? The invoices to Aperture. There is something we're going to have to pay out of forfeiture. I know it's going to be an expense. So we get to see all this stuff. And how about this? Actually, the Jess Machado tweets. Do we have those? I might have retweeted a couple of them. Yeah, I mean, there's this one. He asked for $1 million from, again, I've been sitting on this one for a long time, the email that he wrote to Ron Mariano. He also wrote another one to Karen 𝗵𝗪, the Senate president, and asked them for $1 million. But we also have here, Morrissey hired Ashcroft Law to represent him related to the federal investigation. That's why the 2015 letter about the complaint against Beeland was in there. He sent a bunch of stuff that he labeled as exhibits A through E. They're marked in the top right-hand corner. Interesting. I got to read more on that. Wow. So he actually had obtained a lawyer to represent him with the feds and billed the taxpayers $6,825 for that. Okay. Wow. That's fucking wild. Actually, why did I stop sharing that? Yeah, this is the Mariano one. What date was that? What's this one? Okay, I'll get to that. All right, I'm all over the place here. How about this one? He got pizza sent to his house. Where'd that go? Yeah. So he complains here to the chief of police in Quincy that this is a copy of the picture of the receipt I took last night. The Domino's guy delivered at 10 o'clock. That was 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗃. Remember, I used to get Domino's sent to me at 10 o'clock all the time. That's like 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗃's, like he's like a serial killer. That's like his calling card is the Domino's thing. He will also send the Quran to your house. He mails the Quran to you. Luckily, 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗃's in jail where he belongs and hopefully stays for a long fucking time. How about this one? He sends out an email with the Krusty Panties video on it on September 25th. That seems relevant. So that's where he's getting his news from. Sends an article to Colonel Mon. When you get a chance, give me a call. No rush. Right. Like I said, asks for $1 million from Ron Mariano so that he can hire whatchamacallit, Hank Brennan, 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗍. Sorry, brain fart there. I'm all over the place tonight. What's this one? Anyway, let's go back up here. We're almost done. Oh, the Aperture stuff. Because Jess had the Aperture stuff, so I want to get to that. Let's see. Give me 1 second to X out of this. Just find it. Jess Machado. Or how? Oh. How about this one? June 22nd, 2024. Sends an email to Brian Tully and Lynn Beland. Okay? With a picture of somebody bitten by dogs. And he goes, this is more a blow up of the picture that was contained in the previous email. It appears to show more direct line of little dots all lined up in the arm. I think we have to use this against to buy the mechanical engineers when they testify. Let me know what you think. So he's like a doctor now. He's like, look I found a picture on the internet of a dog bite and it doesn't look the same as the dog bite that John O'Keefe has. So we should use this against him. Like what? This is crazy. Huh. I want to find the tweet about when they hire Welcher. That was another good one. I'm just going to search for Welcher. Oh, how about this? All right, so this is when he hires Welcher. Krusty shared it for us. Thank you. And it says, this is July 24th. This is July 23rd. Okay. So, first of all, they don't have an expert yet. So they're like, we need to hire an expert. This is the expert from Aperture LLC. His name is Judd Welcher. Take a look at his connections and biography. Seems to be right in line with what we're looking for. Like what does that mean? What we're looking for? Aren't you looking for the truth? No, you're looking for somebody to say that John O'Keefe was hit by a car. That's what you're looking for. Then he sends on July 24th, he goes, Andy Klein. So Andy Klein sold his company to Aperture. He calls him Andy, not Andrew Klein, Andy. Andy Klein was on the witness list. He is a former state police detective in charge of the cars unit. So he trained Joseph Paul. Says everything you need to know right there. He was in charge of, he taught Joseph Paul everything that he knows, Trooper Paul. And he's in charge of training Trooper Paul. And he retires, and he was very controversial. I wrote a whole story. Go read it. The story on Andy Clean. He had been involved in investigating collisions that a lot of people thought were investigated poorly. He's an idiot. And so Clean sold his company to Aperture, which is a large national company with forensic and mechanical engineers. See the enclosed resume of 𝗪𝗏. He seems to fit our bill. I'd like to get a discovery package together to send him so that we can see whether he can provide an opinion that might help us out with the case. So we're only interested in hiring this guy if he says what we want. And then he bills them a whole shitload of money. As we saw, he billed them like over $400,000. Yep. All right. So anyway, that's not justice. If you're looking for that, anyway, we're winding down here. So let me just go over a couple more emails I thought were interesting here, because we could spend all night on this shit. He's got his whole, you see all the money that went to Aperture here, all your tax dollars, all your billable hours. $750 an hour. That's what 𝗪𝗏 charges, $750 an hour. Reviews the ignition cycles, analysis. Oh my God. Oh, the travel load gear. He loves the load. 𝗪𝗏 loves the load. Travel to airport, flight to Boston. He billed them to get on a plane. He got paid to ride on a plane. Not reimbursed, paid. He took pictures of the black box. That cost $4,125. Meeting with the DA. $1,125. I mean, this is madness, dude. How much this guy cost. Ian Whiffen. Oh, no. Miramar Romanes got paid $275 an hour to watch Richard Green and Marie Russell's testimony so that they can rebut it, I'm guessing, so that they can say why it's not legitimate. Okay. He sends this email about striking back against the evil empire. Very interesting reading, whatever that means. Is the evil empire supposed to be, I don't even know, the defense? The FBI? Who knows? He's also sending Helena Rafferty emails on her burner email. Why is he sending it to Helena Rafferty? What does she have to do with any of this, by the way? Why is she being like kept in the loop? Anyway, I could go on and on and on. Richard Doonan, he sends an article about me. I don't know. He's like obsessed with me. And this is an interesting one. He sends this one to the AGO's office. Yeah, on July 21st. Yes, it's a Turtleboy post. And he says he wants a peaceful protest of certain individuals for their involvement in the cover-up of John O'Keefe's murder. Exactly. What's wrong with that? Peaceful protest of people involved in the cover-up of a murder sounds pretty American to me. And Helena Rafferty had forwarded to him my post announcing that I was coming to town. And I even say, I don't think Jennifer McCabe is home. I don't even think they're going to be home. So I'm not even targeting them. It's like a tour of Canton. That's what we were doing. Insane. Imagine that. Like, oh, I think I'm committing a felony here, so I'm going to post it on Facebook. They don't do, like this guy says, somebody posts on Facebook that they intend to commit like 8 felonies, according to the DA's office. They list the specific date, time, and location they'll be committing these felonies. The police gossip about it behind closed doors and choose to take no action to prevent these crimes from being committed. Exactly. Like they did. This is insane. Yeah. This is the email that he sent to the AGO office in July with a printout of the witness intimidation statute saying you guys should arrest him for this. So anyway, that's it. That's pretty wild. It's just insane. It's just insane that this is happening. But let me read some turtle chats and we'll call it a night, folks, because it's been a long one. All right. All right, Laura sends $10, goes, "Hey, Daddy, the abhorrent misuse of the law by the DA's office is sickening. I can't wait for the day you are vindicated. I've grown up in Norfolk County, and I've seen the corruption firsthand. Hashtag free Turtleboy." Well, thank you, Laura. I agree. Lee from Plainville sends another $10 and goes, "The investigation in my brother's case in 2014 with badge and handcuffs, the James Robinson case where Tully Proctor and Uri, to be exact, email me sometime if you want the facts. I did an interview with the Enterprise. Also, my boyfriend died of insulin OD in 2022 in Canton, Boston, with me on corrupted covert surveillance over 2 years over it. It was payback for me defending the Robertsons over the Dedham cop. I'm from Dedham. Officer Schooner is in jail now." Okay. Okay. All right. That's a lot. But thank you, Lee from Plainville. You have an interesting life. Okay. And then I think we have a Cash App here I got to read. All right. Taylor sends $10 and goes, where'd it go? Turtleboy Jake O'Kane is a young rookie attorney, a good kid. He got pretty far on Survivor as a floater, but still did well overall. However, he's in over his head with this. Just my opinion. I don't even understand what his role is in this. So thank you very much, Taylor. Okay, cool. Anybody else got anything to say before we call it a night? All right, guys. Well, I am going to call it an evening because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. And then, yeah, we'll do this again on Tuesday night. And then I got my hearing on Wednesday. So I hope to see a lot of you fine people there Wednesday at 2:00 in Norfolk Superior Court. Hopefully we get a lot of these we're going to take them to Unimpound Town, as Nurse Kim says. So anyway, I love all you fine people. Thanks for donating. Thanks for doing your thing. And we'll see you guys all for the next episode of Turtleboy Live on Tuesday night. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.
It calls for